Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something. Relationships are hard. Y'all know that. Don't even front. But today, we're talking about a very specific kind of love, the kind that comes from someone who's, well, let's just say, a little emotionally difficult. We're talking about the avoidant type. You know the ones. The people who seem like they're hot and cold at the same time. One minute, they're all in, and the next, they're like Houdini disappearing from your life. But listen here, if an avoidant does certain things for you, I'm going to tell you right now, they really love you. Not kind of love you, not just like you, but love you for real. Now let's get one thing straight. Avoidants are not naturally clingy. They don't just pour their heart out and say, hey, I love you. No, no, no. That's not how they operate. They're guarded, they're protective of themselves, and sometimes it feels like getting close to them is like trying to catch a greased pig. But when they love, they show it in ways that are subtle, yet powerful. You see, when it comes to avoidant people, time is sacred. I'm not just talking about, oh, I'll text you later, or I'll see you when I feel like it. No, no, no. I'm talking about someone who doesn't usually open their calendar, doesn't usually prioritize anyone, suddenly choosing to carve out a space just for you. That's big. That's real. That's love showing up quietly but powerfully. Think about it for a second. Avoidants are people who guard their space, their freedom, their personal bubble. They protect themselves like a fortress. They don't just drop everything for anyone, and they sure as hell don't bend their routines for just casual acquaintances. So when they make time for you, every minute they spend isn't just minutes. It's intention. It's thoughtfulness. It's their way of saying, without even saying a word, that you are worth stepping out of their comfort zone. And let me tell you something, this isn't always easy for them. Avoidants get anxious when they feel tied down, even in small ways. They feel pressure in the smallest commitments. So making time for you means they're actively choosing you over their instinct to pull back. That choice carries weight. That choice carries meaning. And when you realize it, it can hit you right in the chest because love like that is rare. It's not loud. It doesn't make announcements. It doesn't parade in with grand gestures every single day. But it's consistent. It's steady. It's them showing you in their own way that you matter. You ever notice how some people can talk about love and feelings endlessly, but their actions are hollow? That's not what this is. This is the opposite. This is someone who may not say much, who may not express themselves in the ways society tells us to expect, but their actions scream your importance. The text they send when they don't have to. The call they make even when they're busy. The time they spend listening to your problems, even when their instinct is to retreat. That's all love. That's all real. And here's the kicker. Avoidants might not even realize the magnitude of what they're doing. They're not trying to impress you. They're not trying to prove anything. They're simply making time for you because deep down, somewhere behind the walls, you've broken through enough to matter. That's huge. That's monumental. So every time they rearrange their plans, every time they pause their world just to be with you, every time they show up, even when it's inconvenient, that's a love that's not spoken in words but carved into moments. Every second is intentional. Every minute is a declaration. Every gesture is a quiet, stubborn form of affection that says, I see you, I value you, I choose you. And you know, sometimes we get so caught up in wanting grand declarations and wanting sweeping statements and dramatic gestures that we miss the subtle, emotional, real parts of love. The love that comes in making time when they'd rather be alone. The love that comes in showing up even when it's inconvenient. The love that whispers in actions instead of shouting in words. When an avoidant person starts to share parts of themselves they usually hide, that is one of the most powerful signs of love you can get. You see, avoidants build walls so high around their hearts that most people never get a glimpse inside. They keep their fears, their insecurities, their past hurts, even their dreams tucked away like treasures they're afraid to show. They guard themselves fiercely because it's how they've survived. So when they start talking to you about things they normally keep hidden, it's monumental. It's like watching someone slowly open a door they've kept locked for years. And let me tell you, it doesn't happen lightly. This isn't casual conversation. This is trust. This is letting you stand in a place that almost no one else has been allowed. They are saying, without saying it outright, I'm letting you see me, the real me, even the parts that scare me. Think about it. Most people will talk about surface level stuff. How was your day? What did you eat? But this is different. This is about the fears that wake them up at night. This is about the regrets they hide in their closet. This is about the moments they're embarrassed to even admit happened to them. And when they share that with you, it's like handing you a piece of their soul and trusting you won't break it. That's love, pure and unfiltered. And let me tell you, it's not easy for them. Opening up feels dangerous. Every time they share, they're taking a risk. They're showing vulnerability that can be frightening because they know if it's rejected or misunderstood, they could retreat further than before. But if they're still willing to do it, if they're still willing to let you in, that's because you've earned a space in their heart. That's because they care enough about you to risk being seen, risk being hurt, risk being vulnerable. You ever been with someone who hides pieces of themselves and it drives you crazy, makes you feel like you'll never really know them? That's the world of the avoidant. But when they slowly peel back the layers, every confession, every small revelation, every story from their past, it's like they're saying, you matter. I trust you. And trust for an avoidant is not casual. Trust for an avoidant is sacred. And sometimes it's in the little things, the stories they share quietly, the jokes they make about themselves, the things they let slip about their fears, their anxieties, their insecurities. It's all love. It's all intimacy. It's them letting you into a part of their life that they've kept hidden because they finally feel safe with you. They finally feel that you're not going to judge them. You're not going to run. You're not going to reject them. And when that happens, it's like watching a locked chest slowly swing open, and inside is a treasure you never thought you'd hold. And you have to understand, this is rare. Most people never get to see it. Most people never get to hear the quiet confessions, the subtle truths that avoidants carry. So when they do, when they choose to share, it's not just a casual act. It's a deliberate, meaningful choice to connect with you on a level that is deeper than most people ever experience. When an avoidant person starts initiating contact without being asked, that is one of the clearest signs that you've broken through their walls. You have to understand, most avoidants are not naturally reaching out. They protect themselves by staying distant, by keeping their emotions contained, by making sure nobody gets too close too fast. Reaching out first, that's not their default mode. That's intentional. That's meaningful. Think about it for a second. The phone rings or a text comes through, and it's from them, not because you asked, not because you reminded them, but because they genuinely wanted to connect. That little, hey, how are you? Or I was thinking about you isn't just casual chatter. It's a quiet declaration that you're on their mind, that you matter enough for them to step out of their comfort zone and make the effort. And here's the thing, avoidants don't do this lightly. Contacting someone first can feel risky for them. It can stir up vulnerability, make them feel exposed, even make them question their own feelings. They've built a habit of holding back, of waiting for others to come to them. So when they cross that line, when they choose to reach out, that's love in action. That's a signal that you're important enough for them to risk that discomfort. You ever notice how easy it is to take small gestures for granted? A text, a call, a simple "are you okay" might seem insignificant on the surface, but when it comes from an avoidant, it carries weight. It's them showing up in a way they don't naturally do. It's them stepping into a space they usually avoid. And it's them saying, without saying, you're worth the effort, you're worth the risk, you're worth me reaching out when it's easier not to. And let's be real, this is not just about the act itself. It's about consistency too. One message can be coincident, but patterns speak volumes. When they consistently reach out, when they take initiative again and again, that's intentional love. That's a quiet, steady effort that says, I care. I think about you. I want to stay connected. That's a level of emotional labor that is huge for someone who is naturally avoidant. And it's not just texting or calling. Sometimes it's small gestures too. A meme that reminds them of you. A note left on your desk. A coffee brought to your work. Little things that scream, I'm thinking about you. Because for an avoidant, these small actions are massive declarations of love. They're breaking habits of distance, showing up in ways they don't naturally do, and letting you into their world in ways most people never get to see. And the beauty of it is, it's genuine. They're not doing it to manipulate, to impress, or to control. They're doing it because they care, because they've chosen to prioritize you, because they're letting you matter in ways they usually resist. It's not always loud. It's not always grand, but it's consistent, it's real, and it's intentional. So when an avoidant reaches out without prompting, when they make the effort to connect, when they take that first step, even though it might make them feel vulnerable, you have to recognize it for what it is. It's a form of love that doesn't always come with words, but it comes with actions that speak louder than anything anyone could ever say. You see, one of the hardest things for an avoidant person is staying during conflict. Most of the time, their instinct is to pull back, to shut down, to disappear into their own world until the storm passes. They don't like tension. They don't like confrontation. And honestly, sometimes they avoid it so much that people think they don't care. But when an avoidant stays, when they face conflict instead of running, that's one of the clearest signs that they love you. Think about it. Conflict is uncomfortable. It brings up emotions, vulnerabilities, past wounds. Most avoidants are wired to protect themselves by avoiding it. But if they're willing to stay, to sit in the discomfort with you, to hear you out, to work through problems, that is monumental. That is them saying, you are worth this effort. You are worth sitting in the storm for. And it's not always easy for them. Avoidants feel tension deeply. Arguments can trigger fears of abandonment, of being overwhelmed, of losing control. So staying through conflict isn't just brave, it's love showing itself in action. It's them choosing connection over self-protection. It's them choosing you over their instinct to run. You ever been with someone who runs at the first sign of disagreement? It hurts. It makes you question everything. But when an avoidant stays, even when they feel like running, it's a sign that they see a future with you. It's a sign that they value the relationship enough to put their fear aside. It's a sign that they trust you enough to work through the tension together. And let me tell you, trust and fear don't usually mix easily for them. And love in this context isn't loud. It's quiet. It's in the tone of their voice when they explain their feelings. It's in the patience they show when they repeat themselves, when they answer your questions, when they hear your frustrations. It's in the small gestures like not walking away when things get heated, like taking a deep breath instead of shutting down, like staying in the conversation when they'd rather retreat. Avoidants are not naturally equipped to handle emotional turbulence. So when they do, it speaks volumes. It speaks about the depth of their feelings for you. It speaks about the weight they place on your bond. It speaks about their willingness to step out of their comfort zone and face the parts of themselves that are scared, vulnerable, and sometimes messy. And that willingness is rare. That willingness is powerful. That willingness is love. And here's the thing. It's consistent effort that matters. One conflict might be a coincidence, but patterns reveal intention. When they keep showing up during disagreements, when they keep facing the uncomfortable moments, when they keep working toward resolution, that is not casual. That is a clear message that they care, that they love, that they value you enough to risk discomfort for the sake of the relationship. And you have to recognize it, because avoidants aren't always going to tell you. They're not going to make speeches or dramatic declarations. But if they're staying, if they're engaging, if they're facing the conflict instead of fleeing. That is their way of showing love, their way of showing commitment, their way of saying, you matter to me more than my fear of discomfort. When an avoidant person starts including you in their inner circle, that is one of the most profound signs that they truly love you. Avoidants are naturally protective of their world. They keep people at a distance. They guard their family, their friends, their routines, and even the small, private corners of their life like treasure. It's not because they don't care, it's because caring deeply is scary for them. They fear being vulnerable, being judged, being hurt. So when they start letting you in, it's monumental. Introducing you to friends, to family, sharing personal routines, showing you parts of their daily life they usually keep private. These are not casual gestures. These are doors that they usually keep locked. And when they open them for you, that's trust. That's love. That's them saying, without speaking, you are important enough to be part of my world. Think about what it takes for an avoidant to do this. It's not just showing up with you to dinner. It's letting people see them with someone they care about. It's letting you into spaces that they normally navigate alone. It's inviting someone into the sacred routines of their life. And let me tell you, that is not easy for them. Avoidants often fear being judged or misunderstood. They fear that letting someone in will make them vulnerable. So when they do it anyway, it's intentional. It's meaningful. It's love. And you can see it in the small moments too. The way they casually mention you to their friends. The way they share stories about you with their family. The way they invite you to do things that are important to them. These are subtle gestures, but they are declarations of inclusion and connection. They are moments that show you belong here. You matter. You are part of me. You ever notice how some people never introduce you to their closest people? They keep their relationships compartmentalized. But an avoidant who brings you into their inner circle is breaking down those barriers. They're saying, you're not just on the outside. You're inside my life now. You're part of the things I care about most. And that is a huge emotional deal for someone who naturally keeps distance. And this inclusion isn't just about appearances. It's about trust and vulnerability. They're trusting you to navigate their world with care. They're trusting you to respect their relationships. They're trusting you to honor the space they've opened for you. And every time they let you in, it's a reinforcement of their feelings, a quiet, steady proof of love that doesn't require grand declarations or loud speeches. And the beauty of it is, it shows consistency too. Inclusion is not a one-time act. It's a pattern. It's a choice made over and over, showing that you are not just a temporary guest in their life. You are becoming someone integral to their world. And that is a sign of love, commitment, and deep emotional investment that many people never get to experience. Sometimes love isn't about the words we hear. It's about the actions we see. And when it comes to avoidant people, this is especially true. They're not the type to stand on a balcony shouting, I love you. They're not going to make grand proclamations with fireworks and dramatic gestures. No, for an avoidant, love is quieter, subtler, and far more intentional. Think about it. Avoidants protect themselves. They guard their emotions, their vulnerabilities, their heart. Saying the words I love you can feel like stepping off a cliff. It can feel dangerous, exposing, and terrifying. But showing love through consistent actions, that's something they can do. That's something tangible. That's something safe for them, yet incredibly meaningful for you. You see it in the small, consistent gestures. The texts they send just to check in. The calls they make when they know you're stressed. The little things they remember about you, your favorite coffee, the way you like your music, the things that make you smile. Each act, each effort, even when they don't announce it, is a quiet form of devotion. And for someone who is naturally avoidant, that's huge. That's love speaking louder than any words ever could. And the beauty of this love is its consistency. It's not random. It's not fleeting. It's a pattern of showing up for you when they don't have to, showing up for you when it's inconvenient, showing up for you when it would be easier to walk away or retreat into themselves. That's them saying, without ever saying, I see you, I care about you, you matter to me. You ever been with someone who says all the right things but doesn't follow through? That can be painful because words without actions often fall flat. But an avoidant who demonstrates love through actions is the opposite. Their love is tangible. It's felt in moments, not just heard in phrases. It's in the way they prioritize you, even when their instinct is to protect themselves by keeping distance. And sometimes their love is shown in sacrifice, not grand, dramatic sacrifices, but quiet ones. The times they adjust their schedule to be there for you, the times they set aside their comfort to meet your needs, the times they put thought into doing something that makes your life easier or happier, even if it's small. For an avoidant, those moments carry more weight than words ever could because they required effort and vulnerability. And the thing about this kind of love is that it's deliberate. They're not trying to impress you or manipulate you or perform for anyone else. They're doing it because they genuinely care, because they want to make you feel seen, valued, and loved, because they've chosen to let their actions carry the message that their heart is invested in you, even if their words are sparse, even if they struggle to articulate their feelings. So when an avoidant shows love through consistent actions, small sacrifices, thoughtful gestures, and steady presence, that is their truth. That is their way of saying, I love you, in a language that is uniquely theirs, a language that is powerful, authentic, and deeply meaningful.